I want to see your excitement in the chat. Give me is it your favorite emoji now? Give me the emoji that best describe your mood for this evening. It doesn't matter which one. Let me see. Let me check the chat. Good evening. Okay, thank you, Afure. Afure has dropped a lot of what do I call it? Celebration banner. Hi, Young. What happened? Don't worry. By the end of this session, I'm positive that you'll be smiling. Hi, Hectoria. I see that you're dancing. Hope you're wearing your dancing shoes. Hi, Kate. Thank you. It's only these 4 persons that are excited to be here. You could have actually been anywhere, but for you to join this call, I know that you're expectant, you're positive. You know, I'm sure you've seen all the things that we've been writing. This webinar is going to change your job search journey, and you're open, you're expectant. So I want to see how your mood, how you're ready to receive this session. Thank you. Hi, Moses. Good evening. How are you doing today? Thank you. Please share your favorite emoji. All right. Afure, please confirm if we started recording so I can proceed to start right away. Okay, perfect. All right.
Yes, we are recording.
Okay, are you recording to your computer?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Okay. All right. Good evening, everyone. Thank you again for joining us. Thank you. I'm still getting the emojis in the chat, and I think this is almost like for some people we've only been interacting via chat, just Jobshon community. For those of us that are from Jobshon, right? So maybe today is like our first virtual hangout that we're getting to see face to face. You're seeing the face behind all the plenty aspire to perspire. How do they say it? Thank you for being a part of the community. Thank you so far. I think the community has been like over a year now, but this is like October. So roughly like 11 months. So really it's been a great journey. And I'm excited that we are gradually transitioning from, aspire to perspire to actually doing something that will be beneficial to all of us. So I'm not going to take too much time. I'm just going to share my screen and we'll jump into today's session. And of course, we can come back later and we can get in touch and connect. I still see the excitement in the chat. Thank you so much. I don't know who's Techno, but Techno, I don't understand your mood. You're dancing, you're, throwing some stunts. But anyways, I guess you're excited to be here as well. Hi, Nathaniel. Thank you for joining the session. So today's session really, the title, HR expectations versus applicant reality. Bridging the gap for job search success. 1 minute, let me go ahead and share my screen. Okay, let's go. All right. Okay. All right, so our topic, HR expectations and applicant reality, bridging the gap for job search success. The truth is, I know what inspired the whole, virtual event. Let's have a webinar, let's sit and talk. I think it was a post I put out. It was just a random post. I wasn't even going to post anything that particular day. Was it a Monday or a Tuesday? Sometime last week or the week after. I can't remember what exact day. But I know that I had just put out a post, because I was really I was frustrated. I was trying to close a role. I had, my time to hire was quite slim. And, I was getting applications and, it was a lot, right? So I had to just come online because I really wanted to just come and vent, like, what's happening, right? And I had put out a post saying, oh, this is what I'm currently experiencing. I'm recruiting for a role, but it's looking like, even something as basic as CV is looking like, we're still not getting it right, in 2025. So I think I had shared a bit of points, to make your CV recruiter ready. And I'd also offer to do some CV reviews from that particular conversation. And of course, the feedback I got was overwhelming, right? And because of that, I'm like, okay, I'm sure I cannot review all the requests I got. How many CVs can I really review? I'm just one person. Why not turn it to a virtual event, right? Which is why we're here today. Hi, Afure. Just give me 1 minute. Let me confirm that we're still recording.
We're still recording.
Okay, I noticed you went out and came back.
Oh, it's still recording.
Okay, all right. So let me make you co-host again. Okay, all right. Let's keep going. So of course, I can't review all the CVs in the whole of Lagos. I'm just one person. So I thought, you know what, let's convert this to a proper event where I get to talk. So I think before we even start, maybe you should just pull out your CV from wherever it is, right? Bring it out from your system, your phone. If you have it in hard copy, just go and pull it out now so that, as we're going through this session, you're taking key points, notes and everything, and, you're underlining where you need to make adjustments. And just a brief summary about me, forget all these plenty write-ups on the screen. My name is Juliet Kepero, and I'm a human resource professional. And I'm also a career strategist, and my work lies at the intersection of people, purpose, and performance. And really, all my entire journey is to just ensure that organizations and people thrive together in harmony. I currently serve as the Group Head of Human Resources and Corporate Services at Human Investment Group Africa. And I have experience across different sectors so far. By God's grace, I've worked in beauty, healthcare, non-for-profit, education, etc. And I've also been privileged and humbled to receive some recognitions in line of my work, and examples of 10 exceptional professionals of the year in HR. That was recent. The award ceremony was yesterday. And then 2025 as well, I was also nominated. I was also awarded as top 100 in Africa in HR as well. And 2024, top 100 in HR as well, 2024. So, but anyways, apart from all of this plenty, recognitions, really what drives my work at the core and intersection is SDG 4 and SDG 8, which is the whole passion that led me to found Job Consulting. And Job Consulting is just the best way to explain what we do is programs and workplace solutions, right? Career and talent solutions, really to prepare people and organizations for the world of work, right? So I will not even go into details, but I think some of you already have an idea what we do at Jobtion, but if you have questions, I can answer them towards the end of the session. And then, of course, through Jobtion Consulting, that's where the initiative of the Jobtion career community came about, because I wanted an avenue to actually be able to reach, people that are in the part of job searching, anyhow, to be able to bridge, the gap between opportunity and talent. And it all started it was a very funny experience. I don't know if Mam Shewa is on the call. She's my accountability partner. I remember it was just a conversation I think I had with someone, and it was a friend, and the person had been out of job for a while, and it was, quite daunting. And I think it was on Christmas Day I made that post. Is that Christmas Day or a day before Christmas? And I said, oh, dear son, the post is still on my page. Dear Santa, just the people that are job searching. So I actually wrote it to mirror my friend's experience. Like, okay, it is, where you have access to openings, why not, just let's do something. Let me also do my bit in bridging the gap. So that's how the career community started. For some of the community, you already know that, every day we share nothing less than maybe 50 to 100 openings, right? But obviously where we're moving towards right now is to do more, right, in terms of just beyond posting jobs, because I realized that posting the jobs is not, it's just one thing, right? how am I sure that people actually apply for the jobs and applying the right way so that we can get, more testimonies in the group. Then, of course, outside and virtual consulting, I also do a lot of speaking engagement. I'm a public speaker. I'm a mentor as well. I currently mentor on Global Mentorship Initiative USA, and I also mentor on Enterprise Nigeria. And the mentorship initiative is towards bridging the gap for emerging professionals. That's really early career graduates. A lot of my mentees are either in final year, year 3, NYC. So that's people I try to reach. I'm trying to reach through my mentorship currently. I have a BSc in Human Anatomy from University of Port Harcourt, and I'm currently doing my master's in International Human Resource Management from Rome Business School, Nigeria. I am a member of CIPM and SHEPA. Thank you so much. So the introduction service too much. Please pardon me. All right. So we're going to jump in, right away. Right. So the outline for today, right? Introduction, of course, we'll set context so that we understand where we're starting from. New recruitment policies, key CV highlights for candidate, purpose of a cover letter, best practices for interviews from an HR perspective. And of course, we'll conclude and I'll take questions and, of course, answers as well. Moving on. So before we even dive in, right, I want to know where you are, right? So I put an icebreaker. I said, on a scale of 1 to 10, how confident are you in your job search journey right now? As at this point where we're doing this webinar, where are you at? I know that this is November, and a lot of us are already winding out from the year. So I want to know, right? Let me open the chat so I can check your comments. So really, on a scale of 1 to 10, so I think I have already rated, if you pick 1, it means I am tired, and if you pick 10, it means I am unstoppable. It doesn't matter what you throw at me. So I want to know what's your score. Please drop it in the chat. Thank you, Afura. Afura said number 6. Okay. Afura is somewhere in between. Yeah, at least you're more than average, so your energy level is still there. All right, please drop in the chat. Let me see. Okay, Kate said 7 some days. Okay, Nathaniel said 7. Okay, Olamide said 6 too. More money will increase it. Okay, okay. Money will come. Who else cares to share? On a scale of 1 to 10, how confident are you in your job search journey right now? Right now, right now. Is it 1? Is it 2? Is it 3? Is it 4? Is it 5? Is it 6? Is it 7, 8, 9, 10? Where are you currently? Okay, I have 7. I have, wait, is it 1? Okay, not 1. It was a reaction. Okay, Adama Moses says 7. Hectoria says 9. That's the highest score we've had. Okay, good. Any other person cares to share? Let me take one more, then we move. Where are you right now in your job searching journey? How confident are you? I think we've got 7, we've got 9. At least I've not seen 1. Okay, so okay, Young MS said 1. Okay. Oh, said 6. Sorry, why am I thinking of 1? All right. Thank you so much for all your responses. All right. I think from the survey so far, I can see that we have 7, we have 9. I think we have more 7s. Then we have 9, we have 6. We have, yeah, that's right about the scores that we had. So it's good. All right. 9 will mean you're close to, you're unstoppable technically, because 9, 10 is pretty close. 6 will mean you're, you're not how you move past the mark of 5, right? 7 means energy is still great. So it's great. So I didn't get any 1 or 2 or anything less than 5. So I'll take it that we have people that do not relent on this call, and I'm excited about that. So now, beginning with introductions, right? So the truth is, landing the right job, right? It goes beyond, what's it called? Submitting applications. It's really about mastering the entire recruitment process from start to finish, right? It goes beyond all of that. And now the next thing as well that you need to know is that every day, every single day, talented people get rejected. not because they're not good enough, but because they are not aligned with how hiring actually works, right? Landing the right job goes beyond just submitting applications. It's about mastering the entire recruitment process. Every day, talented people get rejected, not because they are not good enough, but because they are not aligned with how hiring actually works. The truth is, I feel like, even the interest or the ability for you to even apply for any role, right, already speaks so much about how well you believe in yourself. Even if sometimes people apply for roles they are not even qualified for, right? But it just takes that level of, maybe even personal audacity, right? That you believe that you can do this job. I've seen people reach out to me before and be like, I don't have experience, but I can do this job. So, that's talent. But, people are getting rejected still, despite being talented. But it's not even because of, not being good enough, because obviously they've not even assessed them to see if they are bad at the job or not. It's just that they're not even getting their foot in the door, right? Because they don't know how the process works. And now, if you've experienced any of this, you're in the right place, just to set context. If you've applied constantly and you're not hearing back, this one, I know that it's a common thing. If you've been to interviews and it feels great, whenever it leads to offers, you go for interviews, they'll be like, oh, we love you so much. Fantastic. You leave the interview hoping you're going to see the offer later, like, the moment you even log off, you should be seeing it in your mail, or you'll be scrolling, refreshing your inbox, checking, just to see if it has dropped. But then you don't hear anything. The next thing, radio silence. Then the next category, and HR keeps saying we'll revert and they don't, right? This one, you're already even close. Maybe your foot is like half at the door and they'll be like, oh, we're going to send the offer by Monday. And then Monday, you don't see anything. You follow up. Tuesday, you don't see anything. Wednesday, you don't see anything. You're in the right place. If you feel like doing everything yet, if you feel like you're doing everything and yet nothing is landing, right? Some people, they have customized their CV 50 times. They have changed their cover letters 55 times. They have rehearsed all the interview scripts that are available. They have followed all the thought leaders, preaching, how to land your dream job. They've joined all the lanes, they've done everything, right? But it feels like nothing is still happening. So if you've experienced any of this, you're in the right place. And we're going to fix these things. By the time I start to dive into, policies and recruitment areas proper, you will understand why some of these things are. And immediately you'll be able to identify, oh, this is what I've been doing wrong, right? So pay attention. We're going to fix that today. Let's dive in and set the stage for career success. Now, it's good to establish the gap first. So we have the applicant reality, we have HR expectations. So applicant, I just need a job. I'm looking for a job. Help me, right? That's the first thing. I'm looking for a job. I just need a job. Now, applicant, my CV speaks for itself, right? And then if I get an interview, I'll just freestyle it. Sometimes, right? You don't go to some interviews prepared, you're not ready. You believe that, okay, my CV is there now, or I know how to do this job. I know it. I know this job, right? So now you go with, all familiarity and all of, you go with all familiarity that, this is not a job that I know how to do, right? So that's one. Then the next thing, HR expectations. Now, HR expectations, HR is expecting you to be, they require strategic positioning. They require clarity and relevance. They require evidence-based competence, right? Can you even do this job? So for you, you're like, oh, Shebi is there on my CV now that I can do this job, right? CV is just a document. You still have to prove beyond reasonable doubt why you can, which is why you have interviews, right? If it were just based on CVs, the hiring decisions were made, I don't think there'll be need for interviews, right? Because you put it there that, okay, you can do this, you can do that, you can do this, right? So you have to come and prove beyond reasonable doubt why you should be given opportunity to do it, in this particular organization, right? Of course, professional communication as well. HR is having some level of expectations in terms of how you communicate, how you're applying for this job. What are you sounding like, right? A lot of those things will be used to determine and justify, okay, this person, should we invite them? And if we invite them, should we go ahead with them? Should we hire them, right? So that's the gap. But now, what HR really looks for? Number one, alignment. Does your CV match the role or is it generic? So for example, I'm going to still use that recruitment exercise again as an example because I think I was recruiting, what was I recruiting for? I think finance, right? And then I'm seeing people applying that don't even have finance background, right? They have like administrative, like there's nothing. Some people don't even have anything related to the role. That one is even, it's a lot. It's different if it's 8 years and screening. If it's a human being that is screening, please have mercy, right? Because some of us, we don't like to pass. We want to look at everything, right? I believe that recruitment is a human touch. So for some kind of roles, I screen the CVs, like I actually look at them one after the other myself. It takes a lot of time, but I do it. Why? Because recruitment is human touch sometimes. 8 years will just fling. If it's 8 years, oh God. If it's 8 years, a lot of companies are relying on everything to have people looking, to have people in jobs because the metrics, the setup sometimes, and the people are writing CVs, oh my God, is not aligning at all. So it will not even pick your CV in the first place. So of course, results, metrics, achievements, evidence, right? What have you done? You said, okay, you're in charge of calling customers in your current role. Okay, what did that translate to? Why you were in that company, where you were with that company? What did what happened? How did the business grow? How did the business do better? Right? Because you were the one handling the phone calls. Now, communication, your emails, your tone, your etiquette. I think the thing that is even most troublesome right now in recruitment is that people just send their CVs. People just send their CVs, like no emails, nothing, like maybe even you don't even have to write a epistle. Maybe dear hiring manager, this is kindly find attached CV as requested for the role of ABC. Thank you. Looking forward to hearing from do some work around. Looking forward to hear from you, and then you go your way. But these days, people just like no subject, nothing, no heading, you just submit it like that. So how am I supposed to know what you're applying for? And I'm speaking for, like, I'm very sure I'm speaking for 90% of HR professionals or recruiters, right? That this one is a norm. Like people just, I understand that, job searching is already difficult. I know it's stressful, but how about you think about it this way, that if you're applying, right, what if it is this one? So don't do it, anyhow, right? So how are you communicating your email? What's your tone? What's your etiquette, right? I think another one is this whole onset of people putting passwords on their CV. I can never understand it. Why are you passwording your CV? I don't know if it's a mistake, or some people send their CVs as links. I will not click, nobody will click your links because, even as HR, we also take, risk trainings and all of this stuff, cybersecurity. The way they were expanding HR rules now, we'll take trainings and they will advise you not to click links, not to do this, not how to check a file. So you're sending your CV as links. I'm sorry. I won't click it because I don't know if it's something that is coming to come and interrupt the entire system of the organization, because that's the easiest way of these things come in. So how are you communicating? How are you even applying, right? They're looking out for that. And then HR is also checking for preparedness. During your interviews, how are your answers? Are you all over the place? Are you saying things that you've actually done? When you're answering questions, tell us something that you did. Are you really answering your questions the way they're supposed to be answered? Or you're just, rambling and confusing the interviewer and yourself together, right? Consistency as well, what you say and what you've done. What you say and what you've done. Is it the same? Right? I think there's a recruitment story that I've heard before. The person's profile is different across all platforms. Their LinkedIn does not match their CV. The CV does not match. So different experiences across different. So you'll not be wondering, is it the same person? Maybe this person says they're a business development manager on their CV, but on their LinkedIn is saying that they are a virtual assistant. What is going on? Right? So consistency, things as little as that can just make your CV, to be kept aside. Maybe they'll check it later, they never go back, right? what you say and what you have done. Are you consistent? Is your career trajectory clear? Are you even clear on what you are looking for? Right? The jobs you're applying to, are you clear on exactly what it is, what you are aiming for? Not that, oh, you're trying, even if you're trying to transition, at least unify your platforms. Let it show that, okay, oh, I've been doing business development. Now I want to go into fashion. And this is why, connect your journey. You can't leave your career to chance because they are also looking out for what you say and what you've done. Now, moving on to the next slide. New recruitment policies, right? I'm sure a lot of them, you're already even aware of them, but I'll just, I'll talk through all of this together because these are what we currently have ongoing. Unless updated, we'll have more, right? So currently you will see digitalized applications process, right? A lot of process, before now, it will always be the, send your email to send your CV and your cover letter, mail it to so address, add your subject as this, that. That's the regular one that we all know of, right? But most recently, maybe not most recently, I think maybe from like onset of 2023, right? But this year it has really been a lot, right? We now have digitalized applicant application process, which is, the onset of ATS. I'm sure everybody are hearing of ATS. I think the other day I stumbled on the post on LinkedIn. Somebody was dragging the whole ATS topic. I say, hey, let's see ATS. ATS is not even a human being, but they have dragged it, right? If it was a human being, I'm sure the person would have developed high blood pressure by now. But hey, it helps to make recruitment a lot easier, right? So, of course, how that works is, so ATS, depending on the how rugged it is, right? It helps to aid recruitment and makes it a lot faster, right? So applications, it would post, it will receive, it will screen, and even schedule. Like some ATS even go as far as scheduling, right? You would think is, I don't know how many of you, or maybe I'm sure somebody would have experienced it, how you apply for a job and you get rejected in almost like maybe 5 minutes after you just click submit. Anybody experienced that before? And you'll be wondering, have they screened this thing just now? Is there anybody on the call that have experienced that? Let me check the chat. Is there anyone you apply for a job and almost like within the same minute, right? Within the same minute, you experience like, sorry, unfortunately, we're not going forward, something like that. Almost immediately it happens, right? If you see application, just know that the people are using digitalized application process, right? They've already set up, they have set up the computer, they've set up the system that, okay, these are the things that this person must have. Maybe they'll put things like, 5 years experience, must have great communication skills, must know how to sell, maybe like, key things. And the moment your CV goes into that system, and it does not have anything that aligns with those 5 things, you get a rejection mail automatically. It is already set up. The email is already set up that, okay, once the person does not fit, send them this mail. So you get it like oh God, it happens like speed of light. Oh, I think I'm getting the reactions in the comment. And Nathaniel said, yes, almost immediately. Thank you, Nathaniel. Afra said, yes, a mail. So you see that this is already, it's already here. So you see why you need to, you can't take your job search journey as, if you're taking it as something that you freestyle, like, maybe today you'll show up, tomorrow you won't. For this particular era, if you're really looking to land your dream job with ease, you have to be proactive and intentional, because just doing normal stuff will no longer work. Now, the next one is AI and video screening. I'm sure this one is the most annoying, right? I also saw somebody also talking about this, that, oh, you apply for a job and then they will tell you to do a video with Loom or something and send first before the next step. So this is something as well that has also come into recruitment, right? And they really use it for a lot of customer-facing roles, right? Because they want to see how you talk, your gestures, your body language, your posture. They want to see how you communicate, right? So some roles use it to screen. I think I'm getting a comment in the chat. Oh, okay. Afraid like you've expressed all the recruitment policies. Oh, anyways, so yeah. So AI and video screening is here to stay, right? And it's here already. If you've not already experienced it, prepare for it in case especially if you're applying to all these international roles, maybe customer assistant or something, They usually have it in a second. Even in Nigeria, they start using AI and video screening already. So prepare yourselves. Then we have structured interviews and assessments. So now interviews are structured, in segments. Maybe you do behavioral assessment first, the technical competency. Some interview stages now even getting as far as case studies, and they tell you to develop a business plan, please. Right. So there's a lot, because everybody's really trying to find great talent. Beyond just, looking for people to hire, you also need to, defend the quality of hire. So that's something too that HR is trying to do, or recruiters are trying to do. Recruiters also have targets. HR people have targets to find quality hire. So if you're hiring somebody and the person is not of quality, right, your KPI is looking at you and crying, right? So everybody is trying to, the way you're trying to get into this, get this job, this person is trying to protect their job, right? So you have to come correct or don't even come at all. Then you also have hiring timelines and feedback policies, right? So now some companies are more transparent, right, around timelines. They'll tell you, we'll get back to you 2 weeks, or they will give you for feedback. I think there's been a lot of issues with feedback in the past, how many months, maybe yeah, right? Like, oh, they don't get back to us, silence and all of that. Sometimes it's just, if it's a recruitment process that is human-led, right, it can get very overwhelming, because you put out an application and you can get over how many hundreds of people applying for one, and it's only one person that you have to choose. And then in choosing that one person, you will not have to still get back to everybody. So what most people have, what's the new trend is, I'm sure you've seen jobs where they will tell you, oh, notes, only shortlisted candidates will be contacted. I don't know if anybody have seen that before. I'm sure you've seen it. They'll put at the end, note, oh, only shortlisted candidates will be contacted, because they are giving you, like, heads up that in case we don't get back to you, this will have moved on, right? So that you prepare yourself for other opportunities. So that is there. Social media and background checks, right? There are some roles that people are recruiting for now that they go as far as checking your social media. They want to check what you've been doing online. And with all the whole saga about social media that's been going on for the past week, God help us. Anyways, but the whole guideline around this is that, ensure that, you show up correct anyway, right? I'm sure everybody they do background checks for some jobs, right? There's some kind of institution you want to work. You cannot just was in. They will check everywhere, right? They will check. Even these days, you'll be having a conversation with someone, you'll be having a meeting, and they'll be checking you out. They'll be doing, I think I've had a business meeting before. And, as I was talking, the person was quiet. I'm like, sorry, are you listening, or, what's wrong? And then the person just says, oh, I was doing a background check on you. I'm like, in this, like, we are sitting across, we are doing official conversation, you are doing background check on me here like this. So whatever it is, show up correct. If you say that this is who you are, show up like that everywhere, right? So that you don't have issues around background checks and the social media checks. Especially if your job demands that, right? If your job demands that, right? Okay. I think I'm getting some reactions in the chat. Victoria said very frequent. And then, oh, job hunting is not for the weak. If you're weak, you can't job hunt, for real. Then, of course, we have hybrid, and remote work consideration. So obviously, since the onset of COVID, right, a lot of companies, they've not confirmed that some work can actually be done, outside the office. So people have embraced more of hybrid and remote work, right? But I really don't know where that is going. We'll probably need to see statistics for next year research and survey, because it's looking like some companies are coming back to the office. Please, they shouldn't come back. Everybody should work from home. I love remote and hybrid work. So of course you would have seen that trend already, except for essential workers, right? The ones that can't do their work from the comfort of their home. Then of course, salary transparency and negotiation. So also in recruitment policies now, there's more transparency around salaries and pay, right? So most jobs now, majority of jobs comes with the amount, so that you can decide if you want to apply or not. So don't apply for a job. You've already seen that they said 300 to 350. You're not going to be asking for 500K, please now, right? So there's been some level of transparency so that people know exactly what to expect, right? Then, of course, we have DEI as well, diversity and inclusion commitments. So a lot of work. I'm sure people have been hearing about DEI. What's DEI? So DEI, the full acronym is actually DEIB, right? D for diversity, E for equity, I for inclusion, B for belonging, right? So it's an arm of human resources that just caters to fairness, right, amongst everybody. You know, don't judge anybody by the color, where they're from, how they speak, you know, everybody together thriving in harmony, right? So of course, DI commitment will mean that, you know, everybody has equal opportunity, equal rights, right? They have equal opportunity. Not that, oh, you be considering someone that's taller for a role and then you leave the person that's shorter. Or you be considering maybe someone that is fair-skinned over someone that is dark-skinned. So DI commitments will require you to, you know, treat hiring without bias, right? So that's also a policy that also coming up in HR as well. I'm sure you've also seen job ads. There are some companies that are very, very, you know, they carry DI, they carry it on their head, even on their job ads. You see, if you see most of these international applications, you see at the end, they will tell you that so person is an employer and we do not discriminate by color, by race, by age. We employ from all areas, right? They'll put everything there. I'm sure you've come across it. So those ones, they declare it publicly that it doesn't matter who you are, whether you're disabled or you're not, please apply, right? So moving on to my next slide. So now, this is, this slide is going to take a bit of time but I'll try and run. I don't want us to take too much time. So this is key CV highlights, right? So this is, you know, if you've not already picked up your CV by now, I can give you maybe 1 minute or, you know, 40 seconds, pick up your CV, right? So that you can start to look at it left, right. As I'm talking, you're checking, right? So that if it's something that you can do on your own, you start to really work on it really quick, because this is November. The year is coming to an end. It will be lovely that you do. I am so happy to announce, right? So let's go. Oh, okay, I'm saying, okay, while I'm giving you 40 seconds to get your CV ready, I'm going to just jump into the chat. So Lamide said, in Jesus' name, amen. I'm sure that prayer is from my remote prayer. Please, oh, join me, join me. I don't know what's happening with all these companies that they are going back to the office. Why? Why are they going back? Why are they going back? Please, oh, everybody should work from home and do hybrid if possible. All right. So I see people that are in my ministry, at least, you know, life can be fun. Work can be beautiful, especially if it's work that can be done at, you know, outside the walls of the office. Why not? I don't know why they're going back to the office, but anyways, we pray it does not become statistics for Nigerian employers as well. Okay, Olamide, you were asking the question. I'll probably take the questions at the end, right? So you say, why are they always asking us to indicate race still? It's just to know where you're from, right? Just to know where you're from, really. They won't use it to screen you out, especially the ones that used to declare all those things. They won't use it to screen you out because they would have already done some level of certification. Their company or the organization module requires it. So, yeah. Okay, thank you, Lamide. All right, so I believe everyone have gotten their CV. Anywhere it is, pull it out, right? Pull it out. Some people have their CVs in hard copy. They don't have, I can't really believe that are there people that do not have their CV in soft copy? You know, I just want to know if there's anybody like that. You don't have your CV in soft copy. Because I'm going to share an experience before I jump into this. There's also a trend of applicants snapping their CVs. Like they will just snap it and attach it. And I'm like, what is happening? Why are you snapping yours? Like, and sometimes it is not even properly snapped. It just like, maybe the thing will be slanted or something. Like, oh, Jesus. So I don't know what the challenge is really, right? But I would just, you know, mention that. So if you don't have a soft copy CV, please just, you know, prepare. You have to have one today by the end of this call. So structuring an effective CV, right? Use a clear and professional format. I will show you what that looks like on the next slide. You know, there are a lot of, I don't know who started the whole trend of beautifying CVs. You know, you will see CV, there's so much line, some will do bold colors, red, they will design the thing, they will do tables, they will do a lot of things. Please, like, if I can even, you know, beg you, like, you don't need all of that drama. You don't need all of that to show that you are a fit for this role. recruiters are not even looking at the beauty of your CV, it's what you have written on it. So it has to be clear and it has to be professional. Black and white is fine. If you want to play with color, maybe navy blue or maybe ash, or just stick to black and white. If at all you want to introduce colors, maybe you mix black and something else, right? But it's not about the beauty of the CV. It is the content. It is the content of the CV that gets you the invitation, not the beauty, right? The way people, I don't know who is designing these CVs. Oh, I don't know. And I'm sure they are charging a lot of money for it. They will tell you that, this is not your, updated CV. You carry the CV, you be applying, right? And then you now go and jam ATS. ATS cannot read blocks. It can't read designs. If the thing is too much, it will just fling it. And then the column pattern of CV that came up as well. And I know that those ones started with tools, some of these AI tools, and you just put your CV and then it will just bring it out in column. That was a trend. But right now, it does not work anymore because of the thing is one AI that even cancels another AI. That's the wahala that we're facing right now in this 2025. So columns, all those, maybe you write experience one side, you now write the other things one side. I'm sure, people that have that kind of CV, I'm sure that I'm talking to you right now. You will do your column. I'm sure some people do it because they want to save space. They want to write a lot, so they'll use column, but you are giving yourself, discredit. You're leaving opportunities on the table because if it is an ATS that is not very rugged, you can't pick anything because all it will be saying is lines, divisions, columns, and all of that, and it can't pick it. And if the CV is not even properly formatted, that's already a problem, for you. So keep the CV concise, 1 to 2 pages max, if at all. Except you really have a lot to write, please do not exceed 3 or 4 pages. Except, you really have a lot. Like this, your experience, they cannot even use, a truck to carry it, except in that case, right? So, as you continue to grow in your career, it's not everything you'll be talking about again. There is a level you will get to in your career. You don't have to be trying to convince somebody that, maybe all your old experience, maybe you started off as a teacher, then you now became a customer care, and maybe your career trajectory right now has moved beyond all of that. You're now in a different direction. You don't have to spend time writing about your experience as a teacher anymore. That one becomes obsolete. Remove it. If at all you want to put it there to show that, okay, you've been working for how many years, just list it. Just put the title, just maybe the year, and then use the space to write, the real space to write exactly what, where you're headed to right now, right? So keep it concise, please, by all means. The truth is, in the heat of trying to close a role, I promise you, nobody's scrolling 5 pages down to see what. And even with the arrangement, you're supposed to put what is most important so that they can see those ones first before your plenty things, right? I think the trend now is people put, probably mention as a mistakes to avoid. They'll put like, I've seen a CV before that the entire first page, because of, data protection. I wish I can use some of these CVs as examples, but I can't. I'm very loyal to, I'm a law-abiding woman, so please. So I wish I could use examples so that, we can actually see, but I can't, right? So the thing is, I've seen a CV that the person used the entire front, the whole page 1 to write their name, where they are from, their date of birth, their marital status, number of children, languages spoken, like the whole first page. Why? And then that CV was so long. I was like, in my mind, I'm like, oh, this person is very, very experienced. Only for me to open the CV. First page, I flipped. I'm saying all personal data. Second page, I think it was by third page, I started to see what the person has done. And that's even me being very, very patient. Some recruiters, some HR people are not patient because time is ticking. You have to close that role. You have to close it, right? So now use bullet points for readability. Don't just, if you want to list your, achievements, responsibilities, ensure that you use bullet points. There are a lot of options, but use the neat ones. I think the ones I will usually recommend the dots, the one that is just a dot, or the one that is a dot but is cube, right? They just look very neat and well laid out. Use job relevant keywords from the job description. If you're structuring an effective CV, use job relevant keywords from the job description. So this one is in a case of where, you know, they have to, maybe an ATS is the one screening, because you can never even really tell these days, right? So if it's an ATS that's screening your CV, you want to be sure to incorporate some of the words, if you have enough time, right, to reward your CV before you apply. Try to incorporate some of the keywords inside. If you do not already have them, ensure there are keywords that you know. Don't falsify experience in the aim of trying to structure a CV. If you don't have it, you don't have it. Please don't go and say, I attended the webinar and they said I should structure my CV with keywords. So the keywords I'm referring to are, you know, is an experience that you do have, or maybe on your CV you did not write it properly. So rewrite it to reflect the way it is showing on the job post. So for example, which example will I use? I've been using business development. Let me use nurse, for example. So you're a nurse and the hospital say they need somebody that take care of inpatients. Maybe they'll mention things like, what do nurses, inpatient, maybe they'll list things like IV, be able to set IV, insert catheter. I'm sure people are surprised how I know science stuff, but hey, I studied anatomy and I've also worked in a hospital, I've worked in healthcare. So IV, what's it called? Catheter, maybe they will say supports the scrubbing for surgeries, post-op care and all of this stuff. So, and then of course, you know that you've done all these things. These are your experience. Maybe on your CV is not really well laid out, right? So with the way it is described in a job ad, right? Rewrite your CV, right, to be relevant and to be able to match the way they've described, you know, the whole experience that you also have, right? So now, so it's going to now, so if it is a human being reading it, of course, it makes a lot of sense that, okay, this person can do, can insert this, can do this, can do this, can do that, right? So that's what I mean. Now, avoid images, tables, graphics that ATS may not read. For you know, professional formats, I'm going to show you what it looks like in the next slide, please. No tables, no images, no picture. I don't know who started the picture trend, right? You're not going for, you're not doing, except you're applying for modeling gigs. I will understand, because those ones they request you to submit your portrait, what you look like, and they will even request it expressively. Except it's a role that really requires, you know, they would ask, they would say, you know, want to see what you look like for those kind of roles, and you can submit, right? Your picture does not have any business on your resume, if not for anything, it creates bias, right? Maybe somebody would have fought with maybe, I don't even know which examples to use, right? And then they just look at your CV and you're not smiling on the picture you posted. You'll just be angry. People have unconscious bias is real. Like, it's until you really, you know, take some level of self-assessment, you realize that, you know, even you have unconscious bias that is just, you know, it may have been shaped by how you grew up, where you lived, where you went to school. So we carry biases. So even in hiring, biases come up. It may just be the way the person is sounding. I don't like the intonation, right? So you want to avoid, you know, all these things. Then save your CV in a standard format like docs or PDF. But if you're applying, please always apply with PDF. Do not apply for any job with the editable copy of your CV. Submit PDF, because sometimes, right, you know, when you send docs, right, Word docs, editable copies, when they land in the recruiter's, you know, mail or whatever, if they're using like a higher version of, you know, maybe Microsoft or something, maybe you created this with Word, Microsoft Word, and maybe your old is like 2007, and your recruiter is in 2024. The way it will open there, everything may just scatter. I think we've had that experience before, that somebody shared on the Jobson community that, look at the CV that somebody had submitted for a job. And I remember I commented on that. I'm like, I'm very sure nobody wants to show up like this. It's a mistake. It's a honest mistake this person made. I'm not sure they want their CV to land like this, right? So please always save your CV in PDF and use the PDF to apply, except they expressively request and say, oh, submit CV in Word, then hey, you can do that, right? Now, must have sessions. If not for anything, your CV must have personal details. It must have work experience. It must have skill session. It must have your achievement session. It must have your education, trainings and certifications, right? If your career requires it, right? So that for personal details, what you want to do is to stick with exactly what is needed. And what is exactly needed? Your full name, your phone number, the one that they can contact you. Some of you don't pick your calls when they call you. You have prayed, you've joined Hallelujah Challenge, you've joined NSPS, is it PDP? I mean, what? I'm sorry. But like, you've joined, you're positive, but then you're not picking your calls. So put a number that is reachable, please. Put a number that is reachable. If at all, put 2 numbers. Some of you have WhatsApp line and you have call line. Anyways, just make it reachable for for recruiters to be able to make it easy for recruiters to reach you. So your name, your full name, your phone number, working phone number, right? I know why I'm emphasizing that because phone numbers, I think some people even put phone number and they miss one number. So please, as you're even preparing your CV, look at it, count the number. Even me, I know my number off heart, but if I'm filling some kind of forms, I still check, I will count it 0 to 11, just to be sure. Because, sometimes you can just lose your train of thought when you're filling something and then you now, miss out and you didn't complete it and you think you completed it, right? So that's there, right? So you want to be sure you have those. And then, of course, your email address, the one that you check, email that you read. Once they send email, you see it. Because, please, not the one that you put email that you no longer check, or maybe you lost the password. So everything that should be on your personal details section, which is the top part of the CV, must be information that can, make it a lot easier to hire you, right? And those are the things you really need. And of course, your location. People will usually put their full address, 15 Jagoda Street, 111 Lagos. Please, you don't need to put your street, you don't need to put your home number. Number one, for security reasons, please. There's even this job market, there's still job scam, right? So for security reasons, don't put it. And of course, for bias as well. The honest truth is if you live very far from the job you're applying for, sometimes it can be a reason why you are rejected. So why are you giving them why are you giving all, you're almost saying, see more reasons why you shouldn't work with me. So don't give them that. I'm sure you saw the location, you applied for the job because you can commute. You've seen the remuneration, you can commute. So they should not be the one to decide that for you. So what I usually recommend is to just put your state and your country. Lagos, Nigeria. Where do you live? I live in Lagos. Can you commit for this job? Yes. So if they ask you, maybe in the interview, they may want to now know exactly where you live. As you're answering that question, ensure you back it up with enough proof that you can commute without stress, right? All right. So of course, your work experience session, I already mentioned that obviously you cannot be writing the CV without work experience session. What am I going to be reviewing? What is the recruiter going to be reviewing, right? Skills, you must put your skills there. The soft skills, the technical skills have to be there. Achievements, any achievements you've had in your workplace, month employee of the year, you got an award, you hit a milestone, you hit a target, your KPIs, put all of that there. Education, put your education there. For education, I want to speak to, there's a trend of people putting all the schools they've went to. They'll put primary school, put secondary school, put BSc, put MBA. We know that you're learning. But as you're already growing, you don't need to prove why you got to where you got to, right? So your secondary school and your primary school should fall out, right? So if your highest level of education right now is BSc, that's the only education that should be on your CV. Remove the secondary school, remove the primary school. Because obviously you cannot get a BSc without finishing SSC now. It's just, who is going to argue that? If it's at the point of employment, if your employer wants to see all even your bets, even when they did your naming, they can request all of that at that point and you can present on your document. But on your CV, please, crisp, clean, short, really what is needed, right? Then of course, trainings and certification. For this training and certification, I think it's very great to mention that, because you see a lot of people say, I am a certified, and then until you get to interview, you're trying to check, okay, send me the certification, let me see. And then you now say that it's training from one hub. And I'm like, you're a certified what? So there's difference between certification and certificate of training. I'm saying this one like this because I know what I'm saying. Don't claim that you're certified except you're really certified. So certifications, right, are usually issued by regulatory bodies that govern that particular profession. Examples I can mention, example, CIPM, right, for HR people, HRCI, which other one? PMP, right, for project management professionals. Which other ones? Customer service also have as well. I think they have, yes. Sales have as well, CISM, if I'm not mistaken. But, those are like, governing bodies. So if you went through their process, some of the process involve exams and all of that, you come out, they would give you a license to practice, or they'll make you maybe a membership or something. You can say you are certified. But if you did training, maybe 1 week training, or you did 1 month, or you did 6 weeks training, don't come out and say you are certified, right? In the section of your CV, if the heading is training / certification, that's fine. You can combine all of that there, right? But ensure that you're able to differentiate between what a certification is and what so that you don't go and shoot yourself in the foot. Don't go and call yourself certified in an interview. And then by the time they start to screen your documents, you do not have it. So, and if you're going for trainings as well, some people, because of how Nigerians, I don't know, we like certificates a lot. We like certificates. Anything that has certificate, everybody will jump on it, right? Maybe when you're going for all these trainings, ask very well that, sorry, this certification, is it just attendance or completion, or is it that I can use it to practice? Is it, most of these trainings is just to equip your skills. It's not necessarily like, okay, you are now maybe, certified or licensed to do that or play that part or that role, right? So that's there. The mistakes to avoid: overloading your CVs with too much information, spelling and grammatical errors, missing key information. I think I already mentioned that: your phone numbers, your contact details, your dates, right? Some people do CVs, they'll put their experience, they will not put the dates. Maybe some people don't want to add it because they don't want to be asked that, oh, why did you leave this organization? It's too short. Please put it there. That's a very vital information. Put it there, right? Put the role, put the months, and don't just put 2024 to 2025. Put it there, May 2024 to April 2025, right? Put it there. If you're still working there till present or till date, spell everything out. Listing job duties without showcasing impact, right? So this one is just the trend of people just copying and pasting their JD. The JD that HR sends them, they just go and copy, and they'll just paste it on the CV. It's not supposed to be so. You're supposed to be able to turn your job duties to outcomes, right? Because you are applying for a job. So you have to remember the last slide where I was talking about what HR is looking out for, what recruiters are looking out for, right? They're trying to confirm your competence. So you have to give them more reasons why they should talk to you. And you cannot just list your responsibility: handling a phone call, carrying this, following the CEO to shop, this one, that one, that one. You cannot just be listing like that. You have to tell us what happened. In charge of handling phone calls, right? And was able to achieve maybe conflict resolution or resolve a client's call within 24 hours from time of complaint or something. Tell us, what that whole responsibility, what it translated to in terms of success. Then, of course, using a non-professional email address. This one, God. The truth is, you have to take except maybe 9 to 5 is really not for you, right? For some people, they don't even want to do this 9 to 5. It's just a means to an end. They just want to, let's just get by. Let's just, once I gather enough money, I would become my own CEO. I would leave this country. I would do something, fine, fantastic. But if you're really intentional about building your career, I don't understand why you should be having an unprofessional email address. You can have, personal email address that you use for your stuff, anything else. But for your career, for your professional brand, you need to have an email address that carries your name. It is your name. That's the most unique thing about you. That's the most unique thing. That's the most unique thing, right? Put it there, kekorojuliet@gmail.com. That's simple. All these info dots and www. I think some very funny emails I've seen. Is it pretty smiles something.com? I'm like, you have to be memorable. Even you have to be memorable to jobs, to recruiters. So keep your email address professional. You know, if you already, you know, some people, they already opened their emails when they were like, you know, maybe uni days or something, they were freestyling, they were doing, you know, I am that shiny star, you know, at gmail.com or shiny star 222, you know, I get, we've all been there. But the you that needs to step into your dream job needs to show up correct. So if it means you creating a new email, this one you just know this is for your job applications, you know, please do that and let it just be your name, your surname at gmail.com or whatever platform you want to use, at Outlook, at Yahoo. It's your preference, right? Generic CV for every job. The truth is, you can have a standard CV. So if you're someone that's targeting a particular role, right, I'm sure you already know the responsibilities, everything that needs, the skills, fine, right? But if you're going to be applying for different roles, maybe you have, some people have like, you know, multi skills. They have, some people have worked in customer care, they've worked in banking, they've worked in marketing, they have, you know, range of experiences across different sectors, right? And they want to be able to throw their CVs in different places because you want to increase your chances, fantastic. But ensure that, you know, that marketing role you're applying for, the CV you're using to apply is not talking about your customer service experience, right? Let it be that if you're trying to throw your CVs in different places because you truly, some people just submit CVs everywhere, not even because they have the experience. But if you truly have the experience and you want to be able to, you know, you want to tap into different opportunities so that, okay, if it's marketing that comes away, you have the experience, you go. With this, just ensure that as you're applying, right, you really highlight the experience that is relevant to that role. Don't just put generic CV because it will just go and join the other pile of CVs that recruiters have in their talent pipeline, right? Good. So we're done with this slide. And I'm going to show you. So I just threw in an example, right, of what a professional format looks like, and, you know, the other one I was explaining. So the one, of course, ticked green, that's the professional CV format, right? That's the professional CV format. You can see that it is clean and readable. Somebody submits that to you, you know, even you as a job seeker, look at it right from your screen. You know, it's straight to the point. It tells you exactly what you want to do, you know, what this person is doing. Even if you want to move things, even if you want to bring their skills up, it's still going to look great. So depending on how you want to arrange either your name, experience, you can have, your CV can also have professional summary as well, right? But even if you have summary, if you add summary to this one in green, right, it's still going to be fantastic. So the other one, of course, that is in red, you see picture, the experiences, the references, right? And even references is not needed in your CV anymore. Please take it away. If you still have reference on your CV, as at the time we're having this, you know, conversation, please, that's the first thing you should even delete out of your CV so that you do not ruin your chances, right? If you apply for a job and you're hired, they'll require references and you can provide them at that point. You don't have to have references listed out on your CV. So this is example of what I was talking about, right? So please, this picture thing annoys me a lot. Please take it away. It's not a beauty context. We're not trying to hire the most beautiful. We know that beauty is currency, but please, right? Even if you hire for beauty, do you even have the skills? Even if we hire you because, okay, you have what's it called? I don't know what people are trying to show, but even if you're hired, maybe because, okay, let's add a fine man to our team. Can you show up? Do you have the skills to defend this picture? Or let's add a fair skinned lady because you've put your picture and you want to be judged by your appearance. Do you really want that attention? So please, I'll leave it at that. There are a lot of you know, 1,001 reasons why you should have pictures on your CV. It's just the distraction it creates, the problem it creates is even beyond what I'm discussing on the call. If you go online, you see a lot of buzz around it. Okay, so the purpose of the cover letter, I wanted to also touch this as well because I think in most recruitment circle now, people, I think I already highlighted you at the beginning that people are, you know, applying and they're not even typing, like no body of email, nothing. They just drop the CV and walk away. It's almost like, take my CV if you like, don't call me if you like, call me, like out, you know? And it's not supposed to be so. Because I want to believe it's a role you're genuinely interested in, not like, just casual stuff. You want to just throw your CV somewhere, hoping that, it just catches something. So a cover letter is not a story about your life. It's a strategic positioning document. It's almost like, it can even be your mini elevator. It's almost like a summary of what you put on your CV. And what HR really wants to see is relevance, number one. Show that you understand the role and why you are a strong match. And of course, clarity. It should be simple, direct writing, no long paragraph, no fluff, right? I think I've seen cover letters. People spend time writing how they got 2-1 in uni, how they did this, they were the president of their society, they volunteered for Red Cross. Please, except you're an intern, maybe you're applying for maybe internship position, you want them to consider you without experience, and hey, you can, write about everything that you think is relevant. That's different. But if you're an experienced professional, I don't expect you to be writing about, how you did this, how you did this one, except you're talking about, things you did at work, projects, talking about what is relevant, fine, right? And of course, proof. Be able to highlight 1 or 2 achievements that demonstrates your value. At least in your cover letter, put 1 or 2 things that you did that was significant in your current place of work, right? Then of course, there's also motivation as well. Why this role? Why this company? Why do you want to join? Right? Which is usually like the closing paragraph, it'd be like, oh, I love the mission of this company and it really aligns with, my career journey, and I would love to work here. Your personality as well, what tone are you using? Your tone should reflect confidence and professionalism and not desperation. The truth is, people look at job session and they think that, oh, maybe recruiters are doing them a favor or HR is doing them a favor. Not really. I think whenever I'm taking coaching sessions, for people that, are trying to land roles, career transitions, one thing I always tell them is that don't apply your job search as if, you are begging or you are desperate. I know maybe you've been out of job for a while, so you really take anything. I know. But don't use that mindset to approach your job search, because you will just be getting whatever it is that is thrown at you. If not for anything, you're even the one doing, the recruiter, the HR, a favor. Remember I said they have a target. I'm an HR person, right? So I can have a target to fill a role. And I put out the target and I'm praying that people apply for the job and then they apply. So you're helping me find talent. So approach your hiring like, I am hot cake. I don't know how to put it. Like, approach it like, you are the price. Don't face it with desperation. Don't go to people's DMs and be like, oh, you know how to do your job. Just communicate it clearly and leave it at that. Don't approach it with, desperation. Like, they're doing you a favor. One person is maybe a god somewhere and you have to reverence and give glory. Even God self, even the God that we serve is merciful. You can even, you will still call him, he will answer you. So why would you allow a human being, or why will you position somebody as a God or as someone that you have to reverence? So approach your job search journey with confidence and professionalism, knowing that, everything you put down on paper is exactly what you know how to do. You have to show up correct, So it's not like you're trying to patch experience. So not like you're trying to say you know how to do something and you don't know how to do it. We're talking about the case where exactly you know what you bring to the table. You know what you bring to the table. You know your worth, you know your value. So show up with confidence and professionalism, not arrogance. So don't go and be rude to recruiter, right? There's a very thin line as well. But please, not desperation. If not for anything, not desperation. So when you're writing your cover letter, you want to show them, say, if you're looking for a professional that will take up this role and be able to make significant impact, I am the woman for the job. I am the woman for the job, right? So if you're applying for some roles, put it out there. Be confident. Don't type lines and you're shaking. Because I want to believe that you know exactly what you can do. You know exactly what you can do, right? So please, that's how you should approach your hiring. Then of course, interview, I will run through this one, right? What recruiters look for. They're looking for your confidence and professionalism. I think I already even mentioned it. So don't go for interviews and be shaking. Treat this as a conversation. You're talking to somebody. And this is something that you say you know how to do. So why are you afraid? Why are you shaking? Why are you showing, your lack of confidence is already like, it's already make things look bad for you before you even start to speak. So you want to look at that camera. Good morning. Thank you. Smile. Thank you for the invitation. I'm so excited to see you today. Tell me about yourself. Oh, thank you so much. My name is, give it to them. You are the cake. You are the price. You are the bouquet, right? You're everything. Effective communication skills. Communication is a skill that, you cannot do without communication. There was a session I moderated sometime last month on communication. And then somebody said, communication is the heartbeat. Somebody defined it as, I think we now agreed on that call that communication is equals to oxygen. And that is fact. Communication equals oxygen. If you cannot communicate, you will miss out on a lot of things, not just even jobs, a lot of things, even in your personal life, in how you treat your friends, your loved ones, anything that you're doing, anything that you're a part of. If you cannot communicate clearly and be able to articulate your thoughts, you will miss out on a lot of things, not just jobs now. So if you don't know how to communicate, please, there are free tools, there are free resources. Go on YouTube, search for videos on how to communicate, watch them every day, try, read books, find books on emotional intelligence, how to interact with humans. Maybe I should start sharing books to the community, right? So that you can put yourself out there, talk. You say you know how to sell. Sell to me. Put it in words, right? They look for effective communication skills because every job you have to communicate now. So if you get that one wrong, sorry, you won't make it past the first stage. Problem-solving abilities. Problem-solving ability, because are looking for that. Those are soft skills that they look for. What have you done before? What kind of challenges have you been faced with? And how did you handle them? Cultural fit and adaptability as well, right? You can be a great talent, right? And then you come for an interview and they assess you from that interview and they realize that this person is going to be very, very rude. And maybe the culture of that environment, the culture of the company, maybe is the one that, everybody is everybody's friend. They don't want anybody coming to rock the boat. You may just even fail that interview, not because you're not even good, but because you don't have good character. Now, there are some cultures that, there's some company cultures that, everybody has to be nimble, no time to follow up. Like, nobody's going to be checking, have you done this? Have you sent this? They need people that can take responsibility. And then if you come on that call, they'll be asking you questions that jar around cultural fit, around those kind of things. And maybe you now give some kind of weak answers. They will just be like, this person, if I give this person a task, I am not sure I can close my eyes. I have to be following through and I don't have that time. And it just ends there. So recruiters also look for cultural fit and adaptability as well. Even the company that you want to apply to, do some work and do research, right? So you even know what it looks like in there, so that you show up correct. Now, there also behavioral versus technical interview. Behavioral just means, you focus on your past experiences, your skills, and how candidates handle situations, right? What you've done before. I'm sure everybody can attest to this question on this call. I'm sure you heard questions like, tell me about a time that you did one thing. What would you do when you did this? You are a team lead to 5 people. What would you do if that? I'm sure people have heard this kind of interview questions before. They're just trying to assess your behavior. They want to know how you will act. Try to set content, set situations, and see what you're going to do, right? Now, technical interview, those ones to assess, the specific job knowledge and expertise. Maybe you say you're a data analyst, they'll say, okay, yeah, create dashboard. Create a dashboard of 50 people or something. So, those ones, technical interviews are more detailed. They're really trying to check if you know how to do the job. Behavior is almost like, they're trying to check if you will be a great addition to this work environment. Now, beyond skills. So you see that, they're checking you everywhere. So you really have to come correct. Answering common interview questions, right? Use the STAR method. So when you're answering your behavioral, questions, use the STAR method. It helps you to have structured answers. The STAR, S is situation, T is task, A is action, R is result. Really, it helps you to, put your answers in a more structured way. So you set context. Situation means you set the context. You tell us the task, you give us action and result. An example would be like, maybe they ask a question to say, oh, Tell me about a time you led a team through a project or maybe through a deadline or something. What do you want to do? Of course, set context. So usually with behavioral questions like this, right? If it is something that you've not done before, you will have to answer it as if it occurs, this is what you would do, right? If you have not done it, don't go and lie and say, yes, I've led a team of 15 before, and this is what I did. Don't lie. If you don't really have any experience with that particular context is set, you can reframe the question and say, oh, while I may not have done this right yet in my current role, but if I was faced with this kind of responsibility, this is what I would do. And then you lay out, you give them your action, you give them the results at the end of the day, right? And of course, most common questions that they will always ask you, tell me about yourself. That one, right? My advice for that one is always ensure that whatever you're saying, right, in 30 seconds, you start to make sense. In 30 seconds. Nothing, if in 30 seconds you have not caught your recruiter's attention, it's going to be hard. They will see. So the thing with tell me about yourself answer is that depending on how you answer it, right? If you answer it and you touch all the areas, right? Your knowledge, your skills, your abilities, your other characteristics, if you touch, all the we call it KSA. If you touch all the areas, it's going to now divert all the questions from you. It's going to even limit the number of questions they ask you because you've given them room, and they may now even try to pick from the answer you've given. You'll be like, okay, you said you've done this. Tell us more about it. You'll be steering the interview in your direction, right? So if you do not start to make sense in 30 seconds, you just be going, right? So tell me about yourself question is not where you start to talk about, how you are the firstborn of 3 sons, you like pink, it's not the time for that. Go straight to the point. Thank you for that beautiful question. My name is Juliet Kekere, and I am a human resource professional with a bachelor's degree in this, years of experience. This is what I've done, list, impacts, the most shining things you've done in your career, list them, achievements, this is what I've done. I did this here, I've worked here, and there. I am exceptional, your knowledge, you must establish it. You must mention your skills. You must mention what you can do and what you have done. And you must be able to mention at least, your characteristics about you, what makes you unique, right? So, and of course, for answering common interview questions, just practice competency-based questions as well, right? Now, post-interview etiquette. Send a thank you mail within 24 hours just to keep you in the recruiter's radar. Sometimes this recruitment thing is God, right? Because you can have series of interviews lined up, especially if it's a role you're trying to close really quick. You can shortlist like maybe 10 people, and God help you, all of them not go and choose the same dates for their interview, right? Some interview, they will give you the time frame you have to choose from. Some will give you the calendar and you select. I usually like to automate my interview system. So I'll just send you my link. I'll say, okay, pick a time. And then God help you, everybody now go and pick the same day. You may end up doing like maybe interviewing 8 people in one day. And you have to remember what all of you discussed to be able to tell who among the 8 people stood out. So send thank you emails, just to maybe juggle the person's name in case the person forgot that you are the person that said this. Thank you so much for the invitation. I had such an amazing time, discussing my experience with your company. And I'm really optimistic. I'm looking forward to, coming to contribute my quota, in driving your mission forward. Thank you so much. Just put it there, right? And then reflect on how you did during the interview. Sometimes the person that will tell you the truth is yourself. Even if you refuse to, when you have closed all the doors, when you have gone, when you're on your bed at night, if at all, think about that interview, and between you and me, right? Identify where you need to adjust. If you did well, identify where you need to do better next time. So you must assess so that the next one you show up correctly or show up even more, excellent. Follow up if there are no responses within given timeline. So if they tell you, I'll get back to you in 2 weeks, the ones that they explicitly tell you, I'll get back to you in 2 weeks, not the one that they will say, they didn't give you timeline. So if they give you a specific timeline and the timeline has reached and passed, feel free to check in. Hey, I was interviewed for this role, 2 weeks ago. and just thought to check in. I've not heard anything, just to put it there. I'm open. I remain open for this one. I'm quite ecstatic to start soon, right? Then whether you receive an offer or not, maintain a professional and courteous tone in all communications. I know that we are humans and we have emotions. Like I know we have emotions, but please maintain professional and courteous tone in all communications. I promise you, right? Hiring processes, are not really meant, they're not designed to really frustrate you, They're not designed to make you look like you don't know what you're doing. Not really. There are a lot of hiring decisions that are even beyond the recruiter or beyond the HR, beyond, even what for you saw a job, you applied, Abby, and then you are waiting. There are a lot of hiring decisions that go on behind the scene that you do not have, you don't have insights. So be courteous, be professional, right? Life is spherical. I think that's what I usually say. Life is spherical. Whatever is here today can move around. So before you go on LinkedIn and go and call out somebody and say, that's why I applied for this role. They didn't get back to me. They left me there. These days, everybody's becoming so vocal. But please, by all means, be vocal, but be vocal for the right cause, please. Don't be vocal for things that will impact your future. Be selective, right? It's not a personal thing. You're not the only one that was interviewed. So if you were not, if you received offer or not, just maintain courteous note. I think I've sent rejection emails before, and somebody even responded and said, "Oh, thank you so much." I think the most recent email I got for this recruitment cycle I did, I had, from the interview. Sometimes if I interview people, I tell them their feedback on the spot because I don't want you to come and say we didn't get back to you. I'll just tell you that, I'm not going to call you back. Of course, in the best way possible, right? Communicate it really clearly, emotionally, great. Not that, you try to make the person feel. So usually what I would do is, I'm giving you your feedback on the spot. I'll ask you, are you okay? Do you want me to be brutally honest? And would you love to have the feedback now? I'll give it to you right on the spot. And I'll even tell you the areas where you need to improve. Right? I think I've sent rejection mail before to someone, the person replied and said, "Oh, thank you so much. I may not have even gotten this job, but the insights you shed into what I need to work on is going to help me." I think the word she was like, for a lifetime. Right? So, we don't have to fight. It's not personal. It's not even, it's not a recruiter's company. If it was a company now, you can accuse them and say, you are hiring people that, I'm the best person you've not. If it was their company, it would have been different. You can, you can say, maybe they did something, they rigged the system. But it's not that deep. So maintain professional and courteous tone at all times. Okay. Now I'm bringing another icebreaker. I think I have like 19 chats, 19 comments in the chat. I'm going to dive in. So now, what frustrates you the most? What frustrates you the most about job session? Is it the no callbacks? Is it the interviews but no offer? Is it writing CVs? Is it not knowing what I'm doing? Right? Just drop A, B, C, or D in the chat. If you have multiple answers, you can put A, B, C, B, or B, C, whatever it is in the chat. Let me dive into the chat box. Okay. Oh, okay. The chat has been buzzing. Okay. I think Young said marital introduction first. Abi, well, the things we see in this recruitment thing is God that will help all of us. Because the way it is, at the other end is hot. It's also hot at this end, right? Okay, I think I already have some questions, but I'll answer them. I'll come to them. So let's go. Let me see how many people are dropping comment. Okay. In PDF is very important. Thank you. So let's keep going. Okay, I think I got a comment from Bonlani. Bonlani said lecturing CV has a quite a different format where they ask for your basic information first, including marital status, number of children. So I'm thinking if the format provided is best to follow. Of course, if the organization say they want to even know, I mentioned it now, if they want to know your, maybe the day your christening certificate, if they want to know your godmother, they want to know, if they ask for it, fine, provide it. But I'm saying, don't just put all of that load of information out there, right? If they say they want, so if it's a lecturer CV and they want to know if the person is married, how many children, even when when you're employed in the workplace, right? Most employee forms, at least my employee form has a section for that where you put, status, right? Whether you're married or single, and if you're married, number of children, because of course that's what they will use to create your benefit package now, right? So yeah, if it is requested for, why not? So oh, okay. Sam said there's an email that he got. It says sexy101 at yahoo.com. Oh my God. I'm sure that was like to go around. Jesus Christ. Okay. All right. I'm going to take questions soon. Let me just, oh my God. Let me. Okay. So let me go to. Somebody said I'm the woman for the job. Exactly, you're the woman for the job. Don't let anybody tell you anything else. Okay, so I got D. After it says D, not knowing what I'm doing. You're welcome, Sam. Thank you for being here to even listen. So hiring sometimes on some days, you hug and you're happy. Some other days, it's a lot. So I think I have a lot of D's, right? My favorite says D, Ruth says D, Destiny AD. So not knowing what I'm doing, Kate, okay, BD. John, what's happening? Should we give you mic? You said ABCD, everything, no callbacks, interview, writing, say everything. Okay, let's keep going. Bolanle A and C, okay. Olamide D, Toiba A, D, Victoria A and B. Okay, I think I'm seeing a lot of D's, right? So I think, because when I was preparing for this session, I really thought hard and long to see, how much more work can I really do, right? How much more work can we do to be able to really bridge the gap, right, between HR expectations and applicant reality, right? Because I'm like, even this one session like this, I don't even know if it's enough, right? But I'll get to that in a bit. So it's why I introduced this icebreaker, because I really wanted to be able to see and assess where everybody is at. And I can see a lot of D's, not knowing what I'm doing. And I can also see a lot of A's, no callbacks. And it's all, of course, there's also C. I think, John even said A, B, C, D, like everything is doing me at the same time. Sorry, John, don't worry. Afraid, please send Caprison to John. If he's in our community, send Caprison to him, So, all right, let me continue with my next slide. Okay, so this is our conclusion, right? A successful job search is not just about applying. It's about strategy, preparation, and execution. From crafting a winning CV, a cover letter to showcasing achievement, mastering interviews, maintaining professionalism, every step shapes your success, right? And then, of course, approach the journey with intention, with confidence and persistence, and you will just find a job. You will secure the right opportunities that aligns with your goals and aspirations. So the truth is, I think the last icebreaker that we took, right, assessing where everybody is at. I think one thing is clear is that there are a lot of things really coming up, and there's not much clarity really in what we're doing. Even sometimes it can be so frustrating that, you're trying and trying. And, I think I read someone's experience with, job searching on LinkedIn. And then she said that what she had to do to cope in the period of, the whole process is that whenever she just gets all those, unfortunately emails, she would just, she would delete or remove it for her sanity, right? To like practically find a coping mechanism, right? But anyways, let's dive into Q&A, and I will share more about what I have thought about to be able to do more to bridge this gap, at least for you to move, for the A, B, C, D to be solved, right? Once and for all. So now we'll be diving into Q and A. So I know there are already some questions in the chat. So let me see if I can see them. Afura, if you can help me, that will also be great, so that it's a lot faster, maybe in order of how they came. So you can type your questions in the chat, or you can use the raise hand feature, and I will just call you to unmute and speak. So let me check. Let me check the chat. There are already some questions that I saw earlier. So let me go back up. Okay, I think the first question I saw here is from Israel. So Israel, you're asking, you said, can ATS detect AI-generated CV? Why can it not? But it's not going to flag it because it's written with AI, right? ATS is an AI now. AI meets AI. They will welcome each other. Thank you for banking with me, right? So there are even, the AI-generated CV, there are still CVs, there are, what's it called? There are AIs that can detect it to say, okay, this thing was written by, ATS. But in the most recent, there's a lot of inclusion and integration now with using AI in your job search, in your career, using AI, right? So I think the best thing that you want to do if you want to use AI, right? AI is here to aid you. I think I put out a post some time ago. I said, don't be afraid that AI will take your job. Be afraid of the professional that knows how to leverage AI, right? So you can use AI, but use responsibly. Emphasis on responsibly. Don't use it to exaggerate your experiences to an extent that I no longer what you did, right? Don't use it to write your because AI sometimes you will type something and say, okay, help me put this together, and it will just bring out something. You'll be wondering, is this me? So you even have to use AI with your human touch in place so that it's clearly communicating, what you are doing. So there is no crime in using AI. It's before that, you want to write CVs and then you are cracking your head left, right, center. It is very okay, but just ensure that as you're refining and, tuning and, you're trying to put things together, just ensure that you do not over-exaggerate what you can do, right? So that's there. Hi, Israel. I hope I've been able to answer your question. Then the next question, let me go down. Keep dropping your questions. It will be answered, okay? All right. So
The next
Adama,
one is
okay.
from Adama.
Okay.
The next one is from Adama. She said, is PDF important?
Okay, is PDF important? I think I already highlighted that. It is important, right? Always submit your CV in PDF format. Always, except they expressively say, oh, we need you to submit Word. Fine. But always in PDF. Always. Always in PDF. Always. So I think I have another question here. Let me just take it. That's the same Adama. He's asking, what is the best answer to why you quit your previous work? Interesting, right? So the truth is, that question, I think there was a conversation that we're having, and we're just teasing that, that there's a question that you will never get truth to, and it is okay. You will never hear the truth to that question, and it is okay, which is why did you leave your previous work, right? A lot of times, right, we want to leave jobs. Yes, it's because you're experiencing, maybe, you're stuck, you want to move further, you want to earn better, you want better compensation. There are a lot of reasons that guide why you leave work, right? But for the purpose of interviews, always anchor your answer to your career journey, right? Don't go to, if it's some people, they've left workplaces because they are toxic, their bosses are bad, so don't go to interview and say, I'm leaving because my boss is evil. Don't do that, right? Because it will create, some level of bias that, okay, so if you and these people that you are, if you get to work for this company now, and you people have a fallout, that's how you go and bash them in interview and say that the people, they are bad as well, right? Just going to create all that. So the truth is, you know, if your employer, you know, is not treating you well, or you know, not what's it called? You're on, I mean, you seek unfair treatment, right? If you want to channel your grievances, go to industrial courts, not CV, not sorry, not interviews. It's not your recruiter you'll be bashing your current employer with. Just, you know, anchor your answer around your career journey. Well, thank you so much for that question, right? You know, you know, I'm approaching this opportunity because, you know, it's in line with my career journey, professional development. That's your reason. Career growth. Anchor it on that, because really that is it. At the end of the day, yes, maybe money is chasing you, you want to earn better, and this company have staff boss. You know, I get it. But at the end of the day, you're also looking out for where you will flourish in your career. So anchor your responses around career, regardless of what happens. Professional development, career goals, right? I'm looking to take on more responsibility. I want to expand my capacity. I'm giving you people clues now, and even English I use, right? So, Amos, I hope I was able to do justice to that question. Let me keep going for the next question here. Okay. All right. So this one is from Bolanle. So he said, I don't know if it's a he or she, but would you advise someone to remove a particular certificate so as not to be labeled as overqualified? Okay. For example, let me see this. For example, if you have a master's degree and is required for a role, a bachelor's degree, noting that most people in the organization have bachelor's degree, should one put the highest qualification or just put BSc so as not to be disqualified on the basis of being overqualified? I think the question I want to ask you, Bolanle, I don't know if you're able to unmute and talk to me. The question I want to ask you is there a reason why you are applying for a job you are overqualified for? Is it that maybe the pay is great, even if it is, you know, beneath your qualification? Do you just like the company? You know, why will you have to shrink to fit into rooms? I think that's the question I want to ask you. Master's degree is not biscuits and pure water. I'm currently doing master's right now, and the amount of stress that I've gone through, I don't think I want to remove my master's when I finally get it, because I want to be able to fit into a role that the organization, everybody there has BSc. Hi, Balan, are you able to unmute? But if you can't, you can maybe type in the chat.
Okay, good evening.
Okay, good evening.
Yeah,
Good evening.
good evening, everyone. Okay,
Good
I'm asking
evening.
this question for myself and also for people, if there is anyone amongst us that are in similar situations. Okay, I'm also transitioning, but I'm just trying to be certain of where I want to be. But then I've applied to some places, and because I have a master's degree, seriously, okay, the pay is good, just like you said, and they're like, sorry, we cannot pay you. I don't know if you understand. Okay, I desperately need a job, and then someone is saying, I cannot pay you because you are qualified. Even our Oga does not have a master's degree. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Or you go to another place and they're like, yeah, sorry, okay, we'll get back to you, but then they don't get back to you. But then you notice the clause is because they saw on your document that you have a master's degree. That's why I'm asking this question. Thank you.
Okay, so I think my immediate answer, you know, the part where you said that, he said even the owner of the business does not have masters. I think I can already even sense that if you join the organization, right, they I don't know, I don't want to use the words that come into my mind, but I think it's not for you. It's not for you. So the thing is, I understand if you're trying to transition, you know, sometimes you may have to what's it called? Because you would have already gotten to a certain level in your career and then you want to take a new turn. So obviously it means you're trying to look for roles where you gain experience so you can now really move into the new career path that you're interested in, right? I get that, right? But it should not be to the extent where you have to now, you know, take away core information about your journey because you're trying to fit into that role. How long will you be able to hide it that you don't have a master's, right? And So another thing too is you can try and explain to the recruiter or hiring manager that okay, you do have a master's, clearly that okay, you do have a master's, but you're trying to transition and you really do not mind what the pay is, because I'm sure, of course, if you're transitioning, you should not be looking for a pay. Your focus is not pay at that point, it's really experience. So you can clearly let them know that this is what your interests are, that you are transitioning. So remove your eye from my master's degree. I am looking for experience. Are you willing to take me on board? What is the pay grade, right? And if they still, they are still parabolating around your masters, how you have masters, and already comparing you to the owner of the company, please just leave them. They're not the only employers in Lagos, Nigeria. Other people work. If not for anything, right? They should see your master's degree as an advantage to the company and not something that they have to shrink and you have to hide, right? So that's really my feedback on that. So you don't have to shrink. You don't have to. Just communicate clearly that, oh, this is exactly what I want to do. All right. So another question here, say when asked, do you have, okay, Bolanle, you again. When asked, do you have a question at the end of an interview, is it okay to say I don't? It's not okay. Oh, take it from me today. If you didn't even hear anything from me, please, today, write it down. You must have questions, right? I generally don't have one because probably they've answered all the questions I have in mind during the course of the interview. Bring questions from anywhere. Maybe before you join the call, go and cram their mission, what it's about, or learn about when the company was founded, the year, and use it to ask questions. Ask questions around culture. Ask questions around, you can even just, if you don't even have anything to ask, just tell them that when am I starting? And just make everybody laugh, right? So don't let the, what's it called? Don't let the interview end like that. Do you have any questions? No, I don't. Okay. All right. Thank you for joining us. We'll get back to you. Take the narrative. Take it to yourself. There are a lot of questions to ask. You can ask questions around KPIs. You can say, oh, for this role, right? What are the key performance indicators for this role? I'm sure they will have not mentioned it in the interview session, right? Ask them questions around what does the culture of the company looks like? What is your EVP? What other questions you can even ask questions around, oh, I can see that this company was founded in 1952, right? What does this role contribute to the overall vision of this company? I'm giving you examples of things to ask, right? You can also even ask questions like, what's it called? Do you enjoy working here? Ask the recruiter, do you enjoy? But that one, it depends on how you send the message across, But if you can't communicate in the right words, it may just look as if you are pointing fingers at them. But you could ask other questions. Examples I've already given to you, right? You could even ask things around, how do you reward performance? Very intelligent questions so that it will make them think, and it will give you more. Some of the questions you can even ask will make them know that you're really interested in this role. So don't ever say I don't have questions. I'm giving you a lot of questions, right, that you can ask, please. So what else? Let's keep going. Let me see how many more questions I have and how much time we have. Okay. All right. So young MS says, I have worked as a military intelligence throughout the past years. Please, transitioning is very hard for me because I don't know how to go about it. Okay, young MS, I don't know if you're able to continue your question as a voice note so I can understand exactly what you're asking me. Like you say you've worked as a military intelligence throughout the past years. Where are you trying to transition to? Really, with career transitions, right, it's something that you have to face with a lot of doggedness because it is not easy. There's mental, there's a lot of doubts. Am I sure where I'm going to? There's emotional part. Then you have to deal with the skills part because, of course, you have skills gap that you have to meet up with where you're going to. So it takes a lot. So do you mind sharing, if you can't speak, you can type it in the chat. I can see it as I go down the messages. So where are you trying to transition to? The first thing is identify why you're even transitioning. Why are you even leaving this military intelligence? Why are you going here? Right? Now, when you answer them genuinely and really all your answers point to that, okay, this is the right path for you. The next thing you want to start doing is to assess where you are. You have to do a skill gap analysis. What skills does this place you're going to require from you? What does it need? What do you need to learn? Which area do you need to upskill? And then which transferable skills do you have? So you have to be able to identify, it's almost like doing a SWOT analysis, right? Your strength, your weakness, right? Put all of that on the table. Even your threats, other characteristics, as examine everything, right? And then with what you get, you now start to position yourself. If it is skills you need to learn, upskill, and then start to now look for beginner opportunities where you can, gain experience. It could be volunteer roles, it could be intern roles, right? So that you can now gain experience to really apply for, better roles. So that's really it, right? So you're transitioning, you have to use what you have to get what you want, really. So transferable skills, and of course, close your skill gaps and you can move. So young MS, I hope I was able to do justice to that question. Is there any more? Okay, let me keep going. Okay, Kate, you would like to use the mic, please unmute and go ahead. Hi, Kate. If you're there, unmute and go ahead. Hello, Kate. Okay, I guess Kate is not ready, so I'll keep going. Okay, so John is asking, when you're applying for a VA role, how would you approach a situation whereby you're asked to provide a portfolio, but you can't because you're bound by the oath of confidentiality and non-disclosures? I have 1,000,001 questions. John, are you sure you will not book private? You book one-on-one session, no? We can't take your 1,000,000 questions on this call. Okay, so you're applying for a VA role. So the first question I want to ask you is, the portfolios that you currently have, are all of them the property of your company? Are they things you created while you're working with your current organization? If they are, and you have NDA and non-disclosure guiding you not to share, right? Create a portfolio for yourself. I want to believe that, as a VA, you have maybe other projects you've worked on, things you've volunteered, even dashboards you've played with, things you've set up, right? You can use those as what you show, as your portfolio. So you can create an alternative portfolio that does not carry your company data, because obviously as a VA, you're working with an executive. So obviously you cannot be using their personal data as your portfolio. So you can you can mimic those portfolios, but with your own data and information, and show the people that you know how to do this job. So create another portfolio that it is not what you use for your current organization. And that is what you use for applications. That's really as simple as that. So that's what you should do. So have another portfolio, create another one, right? So that you don't breach contracts.
Good evening, Juliet.
Okay, hi,
Sorry I
Kate.
couldn't respond then. My network was acting up. Thank you so much for this section. It's been so impactful. So the question I want to ask is, there's been a lot of sometimes posts on LinkedIn, sometimes from recruiter section, where they talked about, if you sent an application, after applying, you can also reach out to the recruiter in charge of the role or the hiring manager just to show your interest more. There's a script they post alongside with it. I want to ask for your opinion. What do you think about it? Do you think is a way to show more interest? And sorry, does it really work, or it just shows desperation? I would like to ask for your personal opinion about it. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Kate, for that question. The truth is, I think it means different things for different people. For some people, it will show that you're desperate, right? For some people, it will show that you're trying to put your best foot forward, right? But for you as a person, why exactly do you see the need to reach out, right? So if you're reaching out because you want to further solidify, and me personally as a recruiter, right? If I put out a role on LinkedIn, I get a lot of that. I get a lot of those kind of situations. I mean, I don't really mind whether you send me messages or not. I don't mind. But what I'll usually tell you is that, some people, I think the one I do not appreciate are the ones that come to apply in your DM. That's wrong. The person has posted the job and said, send all your inquiries to this email or click on this link to apply. If at all you want to go into their DM to amplify your interest for the role. It should not be that you're going to go and apply for the role. The mistake people make is they go to D and they'll be like, oh, dear, you know, even some of them, even the way they even do the dear as if maybe we are besties or something. But anyways, but however it is, right? Personally, I really don't even mind, I'm a jolly good person. So they'll just reach out and they'll be like, what's it called? I'm applying for the role of this, this is my CV for kind consideration. So people will not even go and add, I've been out of job for 15 years. It's not necessary. Like I said, don't chase jobs from desperation. If not for anything, safe, you're putting that person in a, you're just, I don't even know how to explain it, but don't chase jobs like that, right? So if you apply for a job and you want to follow, there's nothing wrong with it. If the recruiter is your connection request on LinkedIn, a simple message, but don't go and apply. Ensure that you have already applied and even your application is correct. Most of the people that, from experience, that used to come to DMs, right, to plead their case and all of that, when I check the application, it's nothing to write home about. So do that kind of thing when you're highly confident in yourself, right, to go into DMs. So if you're going into DMs, you're going to say something like, oh, hello, thank you. You're doing such an amazing work, maybe do small ceremony. You're doing such an amazing work. People like to smile. You're doing such an amazing work as also company. The recent role you had put out for maybe VA, right? I applied, and you can talk a bit about your experience. Just a bit brief. Don't pitch. Don't do anything, right? And then you say, okay, looking forward to hearing from you. Thank you. Just leave it at that. So it is okay. But to some people, it may be desperate. Some people, it may not be. But I want you to define it for yourself. Why do you want to reach out? Are you reaching out because, you're really the woman for this job? There's a confidence that you carry when you're the woman for this job. And then there's confidence that you carry when you're not the woman for this job. So if you're reaching out because you're the woman for this job, fantastic. It means you're going correct. Confidence, professionalism. Don't go and be applying there and say, see my CV, find attached. You don't need to send your CV again. Ensure that you have already applied and your message is just to, reiterate that, oh, I saw the role and it really aligned with my expectation. I have applied and I am, hopeful that, I'll be gotten back to. Just that's it. Sometimes some recruiters will respond. Some will not. Me, I always respond. I'll be like, oh, thank you for reaching out. All the best. There's nothing there. Life is simple, right? So you define why you want to reach out and ensure that it's for the right reason. If you're reaching out because you're the woman for the job, I'm 100% behind you. But if it's because you want to cajole, you want to try and get some favors, you want to roll on the floor, please, there's no need. Don't reach out, please. So that's my opinion. Hi, Kate. I hope I've been able to answer that.
Yes, you have. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. So Victoria is asking, can you ask the recruiter for a candid feedback on your performance? Of course you can. Why not? You are the prize, remember? You are the prize. You can ask. This is, maybe at the end of your interview, you can, during that part when they will say any questions for us, right? You can ask this question there. Some recruiters will be kind enough to give you feedback. Me, I will give you if you ask me. I will give you. But some people will tell you that, we'll get back to you in 2 weeks. They'll try and fine. If they don't answer you, it's fine. But you can ask it. You can ask. You can ask. You are the price. You are the price. Then another question from John. John, you're 1 million questions. I think I'll probably take the second one from you. So a job advert was posted for the position of a HR, okay, I think that should be an HR specialist, but the responsibilities cover almost all about HR, payroll, tax, employee engagement, legal, disciplinary procedures, etc. Why is this common nowadays? I remember that at the beginning of this call, I mentioned something. I don't know if you were here from the beginning when I said that the way they are now expanding HR role now, like you literally have to, if you're not moving, you'll be left behind, right? So when they say HR specialist, right? I think the problem that we have, the pandemic is not even, it's a pandemic. The pandemic that we have in current day and age is nomenclature. Is the way they call titles. HRO specialist. Okay, what is that supposed to mean? You need someone that specializes in HRO. And HRO is all of these things together now. HRO is, payroll. HRO is, but HRO can be remitting tax. maybe to manage, because tax remittance should be responsibility of finance. I don't remit tax, so I don't know.
Sorry to cut you. Sorry to
Okay,
cut
go
you.
ahead.
There's difference between HR specialist and HR
Okay.
generalist. I think
Okay.
what they sometimes used to ask for, what they need is actually an HR generalist. But just because the amount they are going to pay is not commensurate with the job title, so they simply say job specialist. So they are probably looking for someone who is specialized in one aspect of HR. But then when you come in, you'll be doing
You have to do
almost
long.
everything. You understand? But I don't know. It's crazy.
So John, the thing is, with HR specialist roles, right? It's because you put it here as HR. That's why I said I don't think there's a role like HR specialist. Because if you say HR specialist, the person is still doing everything embodied in HR, right? If you want to do specialty, it means you're saying you're looking for an L&D, for example, or you're looking for an employee engagement manager, or you're looking for maybe comp and ben, right? You're looking for specific specialty. So if they advertise, they're looking for a compensation and benefit, maybe administrator, and then they're now bringing all the conflict resolution, disciplinary, legal compliance, everything, right? At that point, of course, they're already overshooting, right? So if it is a role, although I've not come across that before, right? But of course, you have to work in one to experience it, right? Most of the specialist roles that I've seen, they actually spell it out. They will put it there, L&D, talent acquisition specialist. They will list the specialists, right? For the roles where I've seen them use HR specialist as a title, it's still the same thing to HR generalist. Because what does HR specialist mean? What are you specializing in? If they don't specify it, it means that they're already about to drain you, right? Because if you say you're looking for an HR specialist, the first question should be specialist in what? If they do not identify where the specialty is supposed to be, it is already a red flag for that role. It will mean that you're still coming in to do generalist work, right? Even some roles, right? You will join, everything will be going smoothly. You're a talent acquisition partner. Before you know it, you're already doing a bit of settlement. You're settling fights. You are entering meetings that are not supposed to be, right? But the truth is, I think with career, right, you have to be, I think the word I want to use is you have to be progressive, right? As far as if it's in line with your journey, if it is in line with where you're going to, it is fine. But if you're very clear on what you want to do, that I want to do L&D, don't mix it up, then move like you want to do L&D. I think that's my what's it called? Advice really, right? Because even in HR specialization, you shouldn't even be too early. Don't specialize too early. That's my advice I always give, right? Because I mentor early HR professionals, and I always tell them, you know, I would draw their ear. Don't go and specialize. You have 0 to 1 year experience. Don't go and specialize yet. Learn everything. HR is a lot. Learn everything. Then when you now, you know, realize that you're an expert, there's a field that you gravitate towards, you know, solidify yourself there, that you can now, you know, start to, you know, narrow down your career journey and say, okay, I want to focus in L&D. Maybe L&D is my retirement plan or something. But, you know, I will usually not advise, you know, if you're just starting out, to just jump at specialist roles. It's always great to start at, because what thing I've noticed with specializing too early is that a lot of people that specialize too early, they will start looking for opportunities, you know, to come back, right, to what's it called? Opportunities to come back to other areas of HR. They will now want to know more in other areas, right? And at that stage, you know, it'll be looking very funny because you've already moved across different roles. You're earning so high. Now you want to look for generalist roles. It's really not pretty if you're trying to make that kind of transition. So yeah, I hope we've been able to discuss that in detail. Then let me keep going. Oh my God, I think I'm able to take, let me check what time is it. So this is already 8 p.m. I would take one more question and we would call it a day for tonight. Okay. So let me look for another person. John, you have a lot of questions, but I want to take another person's question since I have one more to go. All right. So I'm going to take Victoria's question, and she says, why do recruiters like ghosting candidates after an interview stage, even when they state they will communicate the outcome in writing, given a specific deadline? The truth is, Victoria, I can't even give you like a specific reason why this happens. What I can tell you is that there's a lot that happens behind the scene that you don't have, preview to. That's the truth. It's not within, you don't have insight, you don't know. So there's a lot that happens. Sometimes, if it's a, I think I already mentioned, if it's a recruitment that is human-led, it will be a lot, right? It means that, everything is manual. Nothing is automated, nothing, just like the ones that use, digitalized applicant system, a rugged organization where they have, good budgets, they buy you tools and things, and you can really finesse these things. But if you don't have that, if you're doing human-led recruitment, it's really tasking, right? So I apologize for all the recruiters that have not gotten back to you. We are all sorry, right? But of course, nothing dismisses the fact that you should be gotten back to. That's the truth. Nothing dismisses that fact, okay? So that's really it. So one thing I always encourage is, keep applying, keep putting your best foot forward. Don't let any, if they say they'll get back to you within 2 weeks, they've not gotten back to you, move. Don't even wait. Like, don't apply and wait and like you're waiting for this opportunity before you keep going. No, keep applying and move as fast as you can, right? The opportunity that's for you will find you soonest. Honestly, that's what I really have to say about that. So I think that's the last question I'll be able to take. Time is already fast spent, right? So leading us to a solution for this evening. So really, right, I think when I had asked the question around, well, where are you at right now with, I think I got a lot of D's, not knowing what to do. There were A's, B's, writing CVs and all of that. And I thought hard to myself while I was preparing for this session that, can one session really solve this problem, right? Can you really walk away from this session and you know exactly what to do? I know some people will know exactly what to do. They will know what to type. They will know how to restructure their CV and they'll get it right. But I also know some people that will not be able to get it right. You need a level of hand-holding, to check exactly where they need to look. And I thought to put together a solution, right, which I have called the ultimate job search blueprint. And I think it's even something that is coming at a very exceptional time of the year. This is like in year end, December and January is always like, hiring. So it's always great that, it is great that people are positioned, right, and ready, right? So because one session is not enough, right, I thought to provide this solution, right, to have another session, which is going to be an intensive, a virtual training that will be hands-on practical exercises. And I want to be able to show how you can create CVs and cover letters from scratch, as is already on the screen, how to build your profile, right, how to master the application techniques, gain interview confidence, right, and of course, bonus, application tracker, portfolio creation guide, templates and scripts, full session recording available so that you can even watch and practice when, you're on your own. So the truth is, job searching is not something that you approach just like that. If you really want it to give you results, you have to move with intention, right? So that's why I've created this session. So the original fee and cost of this, I think I was thinking hard on what to price this, right? And I know that, I think they said where a man's treasure is, that's where their heart is, right? Because of some level of accountability, because it's going to be an overhaul session, right? We're going to be doing practicals, not even all this theory. There'll be no all this theory to be, open your this thing, type, do this, practical sessions on how to create. And it'll be great that you know how to create your professional documents yourself, right? Because really, how many times are you going to pay resume writers to write your CV for you every single time you want to revamp or renew or update your experiences, right? So hence why I have brought about the solution. It's going to be a one-day intensive session. It's going to be 30th of November, right? So I believe by now, the registration link should be in the comments. And one exciting thing I decided to do as well is that for those that are currently in this session and you decide to sign up in the next 24 hours, you'll get 50% off, right? As a way to give back. you get 50% off. So you pay, you're almost paying like half the price if you sign up within the next 24 hours. The link is in the chat. So just click on the link and it will take you through the entire process of payment. Ensure to include the discount code, which is the voucher code, JOB123. That's the voucher code. And you're able to access it at 50% off, right, for the next 24 hours, right? So if you know that you've gone through this session and at this particular point, you know that on your own, you cannot implement these things that are recommended, and you really need a change in your job searching journey. You want to approach your job searching a lot different, please, right? This is for you. So click on the link and take charge of the discount that is available in the next 24 hours. And of course, stay in touch, right? My name is Julius Kepore again. I'm very active on LinkedIn. You can connect with me. You can, I think I posted this session today. You know, you can go ahead and share your insights, how it was, feedbacks. If you're in the community as well, feel free to also drop, you know, 1 or 2, you know, feedbacks about how the session, what you took away, how it's going to help you, what you're going to do better, you know, from the session. And of course, my phone number is there. I'm very reachable. If you have questions, my email address is there as well. And of course, if you're on the call and you're not part of our community, please join our career community, right? The things that we have in store to roll out, you do not want to be outside, you know, if you're building a career that you really want to take a different turn, right? You really want to experience greater leaps, right? Please join Jobshon. Just thank me, send me one later, not today, later. And the link also is already in the chat as well. I believe Afro has dropped it, right? So you have the link to join the community. You just the form won't even take you up to a minute. So you just complete so that we understand where you are in your career. It helps us to tailor resources that we are putting together for 2026. And then, of course, if you need this ultimate job search blueprint, you need this session, right? You want to know how to do these things yourself. It would be great for you to take charge of the 50% discount that is available for the next 24 hours. Anyways, that is all from me. Thank you, everyone, again. Thank you for joining the session. Thank you. Join our community. Join our community. If you're not a member of our community, join our community. Thank you. You're welcome, everyone. I'm glad and we're able to do this. And I'm even more glad because I feel like anybody that, you know, I think my overall vision that I have for Junction is that for anybody that, you know, would be part of our community, job searching should not be a problem. You know, that's my earnest prayer. Let's be that every day we are doing, I'm happy to announce, right? So however I can, whatever I can put together, you know, to build accountability, to build trainings, whatever it is, we're really going to go, you know, full force. And I also want to encourage all of us to be active on the platform. You know, Afro is already tired, our community manager, she's tired of all of you. Please, if she puts out initiative, please respond to her. Interact with her, comment, right? Because I think we're discussing some few days ago that, okay, maybe we should start to remove inactive members again, but I really don't want to remove anybody. So let us try to engage. Please, if you put out initiative, engage. If you put out comments, anything, please engage, right? The community also have resources, right? If you need any of our professional services at Jobshon Consulting, feel free to reach out, right? If you look at the group description, the medium to reach out is there. Just click on the link and to take you to the chat with the customer person, and you can make your inquiries, ask cost for services. Our prices are fair, even for community members. They are very, very, you know, you have what do they call it? You have preferential treatment as community members, right? We will not charge you as we charge outsiders. Just like how you have access to this ultimate job search blueprints, and you're having it at 50% off in 24 hours. Although it's not only exclusive to the community members, right? Anybody you share this with us at today, right? From today to I think to the end of tomorrow, right? You will be able to access it at half the price. So look at everything that we're giving to you. everything I'm bringing. So I'm probably going to be sitting down with you, right? And we're going to be doing this. You see this job, you must land it. That job, you must land it before this year ends. All right. Thank you everyone again for joining. And we'll catch up again in the community. We'll catch up. Oh, John, you said you missed a couple of things. Are you in our community? Hi, John. If you're in a community, you can reach out. What did you miss? You can reach out. Okay, great. You can just send a DM then. It means I'm sure you can identify my number in the community. So just send me a DM. My name is saved there as Juro. So that's like a combination of my name and my surname. So Juliet Kepo. So I just made Juro. So just reach out if you have any direct questions or clarifications that you need following this session. All right. So I think this is where we draw the curtain. Let me stop sharing. I think you can stop recording now.